All right, and here I have the extended mix for Uncanny Valley project file. So starts out just piano, little atmosphere, and this percussion hit. All right, so little lead comes in. Yeah, so you can see it had a pretty harsh kind of frequency in there. I had to really cut out some Saturn replica for delay, ping pong delay. And I believe that was from an Audio Tint massive pack. So yeah, Audio Tint, they have a lot of pretty cool sample packs where they're trying to make really analog sounding patches, from soft synths. So yeah, just took this AT lead Rusty and just kind of tweaked it up a little bit. So that guy is filtering in, and then we have this little glitchy so just automated the volume at the beginning to kill a little bit of what was happening at the beginning of the sample, and automated some reverb so it kind of rings out. All right, and then this really demented, eerie sounding bass is another Audio Tint massive patch. AT is actually a lead patch, Sepia, that I just, I made it a bass patch. Again, just kind of tweaked it to, how I envisioned it, wanting it to sound. Some EQ cutting the lows and highs. Saturn. Trash 2 on the Squiller preset. Brought the mix down a little bit. And just a tiny bit of OTT. Alright, and then we have, funnily enough, a Cymatics percussion fill that takes us into the first, almost drop section or whatever. Alright, so then just some sweeps. And this little bit of atmospheric stuff in the background. Absent strings, kind of ringing in the high end there. Let's see. Yeah, that guy. So that's the afterthought setting, it looks like. Yeah, and then just filtering all the lows out, cutting some harsh frequencies there. Yeah, the sub comes in. Guys, it's in F, key of F minor. It's actually F harmonic minor, which gives it that sort of medieval, creepy, eerie kind of vibe. So yeah, the sub is trillion again, same with transhumanize, and it's the mini Moog driver setting. yeah, so little sample here. Some snares and claps coming in. They're kind of offset claps, you know, hand a little bit to the left, this one a little bit to the right, and a snare. And this percussion hit just kind of hits throughout the whole track almost. That guy, you can hear it. So a little percussion fill here. Just like coming up in volume or yeah, volume automation here. Might be filter automation actually. Kind of sounds like it's filtering up. So yeah, fuzz bass comes in behind everything. Saturn, trash, EQ, pretty typical effect chain on there. Yeah, and then a final EQ, just kind of cut some more frequencies that I didn't want in there. And then there's actually some automation on that fuzz bass. You can see right here. Yeah, you can hear it's kind of like opening up and then closing again. And some of that is set up in the patch itself as well. We can take a look at it actually. Yeah, another audio tent setting, bass ravers. Cool thing they do is all these little macros down here they set up, and then you can just automate these things all over the place and just change up the sound quite a lot. Yeah, so let's see here. Cymbal loop comes in. This is from the Jerome Isma A, one of his packs. And then we got a drum fill. You can see that's drawn out here, some snares, and then some tom hits. So a cymbal hit, and the key changes up a little bit. We go to C sharp, down to C, and then up to E. All right, and then back to F right here. Drum fill. All right, yeah, so just kind of like a snare fill. But then you got these kind of tom hits thrown in there. Yeah, and you can see where the sample is cut, you know, right here when the snare gets ready to hit, so that like nothing's bleeding into one another. It's only one sample really hitting at a time on that drum fill. So then that kind of rings out into our break. And for that, see, we had this guy. So that was stretched. You can see the time knob here to kind of draw the sound out a little bit longer. And there's an impact here. All right, and then we got this pluck comes in. Okay, yeah, so that pluck is, it's, you know, it starts out kind of simple, and then the pattern just kind of evolves and evolves as this whole break section goes. It's another one of those massive audio temp patches, different one, um, with the piano behind it. You can see the chords here. I tried to show you guys as that was playing. That was made with Contact's Alicia's keys. That's usually my go-to piano plugin. Some downlifters, sweeps, this atmospheric thing kind of running in the background the whole time. All right, and then you can see the kick. You know, it's been filtered down for this section, and there we go. So yeah, the kick's been filtered down for this section. It's a little bit more subdued. So, you know, the side chain earlier was pumping all the instruments really hard. So I ended up automating the side chain, you know, during the break, so that everything kind of pumps a little bit less, while this kick is a little bit more subdued. So then we have a sub drop and some cymbals and everything come in. All right, so yeah, this guy, there's Pan Man that kind of sends it back and forth, you know, from the left to the right, for a little bit of stereo play there. Yeah, that's just a serum patch comes in. This was a very late minute addition to the track, actually. You know, I almost put it out without this in there, and then it was just kind of one, you know, like a last minute little idea that I had. So just the serum patch, phaser on there and whatnot. Let's see. So that kind of runs. Okay, so, you know, snare roll happening, some hi-hats, the sub, the fuzz bass is, I believe there's some automation down here where it's kind of like swelling up. Let's see. Yeah, saw bass, low pass. You can see it's filtering, opening up, getting louder and bigger. This Jettison Steady Riser was from a James Egbert pack I got way back in the day. All right. All right, so then yeah, everything, similar concept to Transhumanize. You know, everything just kind of drops into this final drop section. Got the sub, fuzz bass, piano, the pluck string, serum string I showed you a minute ago, some sweeps, the atmosphere still running. All right, so yeah, it's just an offbeat hi-hat at first. And then that cymbal loop comes in. And then we have this crazy drum fill. Just, you know, kind of like earlier, but just expanded on. Snares and toms. Okay, and the toms are panned, sort of panned around. Like, let's see, this guy's panned to the right, this guy's panned to the left. All right, yeah. kind of pan the toms in different directions, so it kind of bounces around between your ears. And the claps, again, you know, snare and 2 offset claps, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Then that lead from the intro from earlier comes back in. We got another little percussion fill right here. All right, and then the snare roll and kick kind of goes double time here to take us out. And then back to that creepy sounding bass. And then again, you know, all the elements slowly drop out for the outro. All right, yep. You see the fuzz bass drops out here, the sub drops out until we have just pretty crazy on the automation in this one. But yeah, that's the project file for Uncanny Valley.